Hey YouTube, Budzilla here. We're going to talk today about relays. What is a relay? Why do I need a relay? How do I test a relay? A relay is exactly what it sounds like. So if you think of the Olympics and you have a relay race, one runner hands the baton off to another runner. Well, that's exactly what a relay does. A relay actually handles a large amount of voltage, but uses a small amount of voltage to pass that off. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's picture this is our relay, and this is how almost all relays are laid out. We're not going to get into 87A today. That'll be another video. 99% of the relays that you use or will need to use will only require these 4 pins. So, what do I mean by handing off voltage? Let's say you have a light, okay, that needs a lot of juice. If you didn't have a relay, you would have to have a gigantic wire running from your battery to a switch, out of the switch to the light to operate that light, because it requires a lot of juice. If you ran a little wire, the little wire would fry. Well, a relay takes care of that issue, and here's how it works. So think of 85 and 86 as your small wire, like your switch. Okay, so 85 will go to ground. '86 will be from your dashboard or whatever, wherever you're going to put your switch. So let's say your switch is in your dash. We'll say your dash, okay? And you have a regular toggle switch. And then this goes off to your ignition. Okay? Now, you have a gigantic light that you want to control. The light will be connected to pin 87 via a very heavy wire, right? Okay. And the other side of this, and I'll explain that in a second. Let me just color this in so we don't get confused. We'll say 30 just goes to battery. If you don't understand any of this, just remember that 30 goes to the battery, 87 goes to your big item that you want powered. So how does this work? What happens in a relay when you turn the switch on between 86 and 85? Basically what you're doing is turning on an electromagnet. What's an electromagnet? Well, that's a whole nother story, and I'll show you that right here. So this is a crude electromagnet. This is just a nail wrapped with wire. Okay. And I'm going to hook up my power supply here. Now if you look, right now it's holding a little magnetic because I did this once before, but you'll see it's not very magnetic. Okay. When I apply voltage to this, it creates a magnetic field around this nail. And now watch. It becomes magnetic. Okay? So basically, your relay is doing the exact same thing. When you connect ground to positive via this switch, it's actually a electromagnet that's pulling these two tabs together. So it's connecting 87 to 30. So with a small amount of voltage, you can control a large amount of voltage. But if you think about this, the smaller wire only ever has to control the electromagnet. It never has to control this, because this is being done when the electromagnet closes. So you're controlling a large amount of voltage with a teeny tiny little wire. So I have a couple examples here, and I don't want to confuse, but so this is another example. So you have your negative to your 85, your 86 goes to a small wire, or the trigger wire. So that's when you turn the switch on, that's what is actually going to connect 30 and 87. Okay? And over here is the same thing, just another drawing. 85 to negative, 86 to positive. When you connect those, it sucks these 87 and 30 together. So how do you test a relay? Well, by now it should be clear. If you apply negative to 85 and positive to 86, you should have continuity between 87 and 30. If you do not, the relay is bad. Which is pretty rare, actually. I've rarely seen a relay fail. I mean, I've seen it, but it's very uncommon. So that's the way to test a relay, and that's what a relay is all about. So again, to test a relay, if you apply negative to 85 and positive to 86, you should have continuity between 87 and 30. I hope this helps people. Relays seem like a big mystery, but they're really simple. It's actually exactly what it says. It's a relay. It passes a larger voltage off to your whatever you're using. Now, another example of a relay would be a solenoid. So you think about it, when you turn the key on your car to start the engine, that requires an awful lot of juice. However, you don't have a gigantic cable running to your ignition switch because you have a little wire that goes back to a solenoid, which is a giant relay. When voltage is applied to the solenoid, it connects the contacts and it starts the starter. So, okay, any questions or comments, or if you guys have anything to add to this, please, as always, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thanks.